Welcome to the Daily Thunder Podcast. I am your host, Beat Writer for DailyThunder.com, Brandon Rahbar. I am filling in for regular podcast host Ryan Woods, who always does an excellent job with these post-game recaps. Ryan actually has COVID right now, and he said he's feeling pretty well, just a little bit tired and fatigued. So our thoughts, our prayers are going out to Ryan for a quick, speedy recovery. Ryan sent me when he asked me if I could fill in for him tonight. He said his only two thoughts on these last two games are that he's really frustrated that the Thunder won. We'll get to that. We'll get to Team Tank versus Team Compete and what's going on with all that. The Thunder play the Suns tonight. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander versus Chris Paul. Mentor versus mentee. Will the teacher defeat the student? Will the student overcome and become the master? Mr. Miyagi versus Danielson. Luke versus Obi-Wan, or is it Yoda? I don't know who's the true teacher and master there. I'm not sure. My Star Wars geekdom only goes so far. The Thunder were on this long road trip, this 5-game road trip where they were playing the Nuggets, Clippers, Blazers, Suns. This was supposed to be an 0-5 trip in the eyes of Team Tank. This was supposed to solidify the Thunder as a bottom 5 team. And here we are. The Thunder won the last two on this road trip, beat the Blazers shorthanded, but the Thunder were shorthanded as well. It really came down to Dame versus Shai, and we saw who won that matchup. And now the Suns are shorthanded here. They're missing Devin Booker, but the Thunder are missing George Hill. Al Horford comes back. But listen, the Suns still have Chris Paul. They still have DeAndre Ayton. They have Bridges. They have Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, Kaminsky, old friend Abdul Nader. On paper, I did think that this was going to be a pretty even matchup once Devin Booker was out and Al Horford was in. Given Shai's rise, Lou Dort's leap, we know that Al Horford is solid, and it just seems like the Thunder get production every game from Muscala and Hamidou Diallo, and then somebody steps up. One of the young guys randomly will step up, whether it be Isaiah Roby or whether it be Teo Maledon, Darius Baisley. And tonight, Al Horford had that new daddy stuff going on, whatever that is. He has other kids. I think this is his 4th baby. But whenever they have a new baby, it seems like athletes always just like kind of get that extra inspiration. And Al Horford had it tonight. This dude needs to have a baby every week. He went 5 for 5 from 3 tonight. Had a double-double, 21 and 11 for Al Horford. Could have been 23 and 11, but he pulled an all-class move because he is all-class. He stole the ball at the end of the game, and he was driving the other end of the court. He had a couple seconds left, but he stopped right under the basket, didn't dunk the ball. Teo Maledon was trailing. He had his best game of his career, and Al gave him that look like, no, not classy. We're not going to do it. So A-plus dad skills from Al Horford on that. She actually had one of his least efficient nights of the year. 6 of 18, 2 for 7 from 3, but he still ended up with 21 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. So even on a night, and by the way, went 7 for 9 from the free throw line, hit some clutch ones down the stretch, unlike the Blazers game where he missed quite a few. So he made up for that tonight. Even on an off night shooting, Shai still has a really nice night. 21, 8, 7, 2, 2 is a bad night for him. That shows you kind of how much he's ascended. Lou Dort, 4 for 8 from 3, doing Lou things, 14 points. And he defended Chris Paul, and Chris Paul went off tonight. But when it came down to crunch time, when it mattered in the clutch, Lou was responsible for like 4 turnovers, whether it be charges or stealing the ball or deflecting the ball. He caused like 4 turnovers on like 5 possessions there at the end and was a decisive factor once again. Like I said, Teo Maledon had his best night of the year. I think he had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and he was 3 for 6 from the three-point line. Also had a big 3 The score was 91-86. He hit a three with 5 minutes left to make it 91-89. Then he had a layup in the final minute. That was a big layup in this game. Poku had a nice night. He had 3 blocks, was 1 for 4 from 3, but he scored 7 points, had 4 rebounds, but those 3 blocks were big, and he just looked like he belonged tonight, played 22 minutes. Hami, another double-digit night, 10 points, 5 rebounds for Hami. Baisley struggled from the three-point line, but was good everywhere else and ended up with 10 points and 7 rebounds. Every single starter was in double-digit points. The Thunder now are 8-9. This team was supposed to be the worst team in basketball. This team was supposed to fade for Cade. And if not Cade Cunningham, then Evan Mobley or Jalen Suggs or Kuminga or Jalen Green, a top 5 pick. Right now they're sitting in, I believe, the 13th spot. They have a lot of work to do if they want to catch up with the likes of the Pistons. God bless them, the Wizards. Russ, man, I hope you start winning. I truly do. The Timberwolves, once they get Cat back, maybe they start winning some more. But the Thunder, they bottomed out. They traded away Chris Paul, Danilo Gallinari, Dennis Schroeder, and Steven Adams so that they could be one of the worst teams in the league and add an elite talent next to Shai. And so far, it's not working out. And I know Team Tank is upset by these last 2 wins. And I don't know what to tell you, because when it's the young guys like Shai and Dort that's doing it, or Teo Maladone, that's a good thing. You want to see that development. You want to see those young players play well. And then you see Al Horford. The deal with Al Horford, if he doesn't come back tonight, if he takes one more night off, the Thunder probably lose tonight. Not for sure, but he had his way with an up-and-coming star in Ayton on both sides of the court. He thoroughly outplayed Ayton. He is maintaining his trade value. I just don't know what that is because his contract is so high. Can the Thunder trade him? I don't know. If they trade him, I don't know if it'll be this season, quite honestly. I think it'll be in the offseason, but maybe they can trade him. Maybe Sam Presti is like, enough is enough. We got to get Cade Cunningham or Evan Mobley or Jalen Suggs. Let's trade off George Hill and Horford, Trevor Ariza, if we can, maybe Mike Muscala, and just hand the keys over to the young guys and see what happens. Although the Thunder beat the Blazers with the 7th youngest starting lineup of all time, the Thunder are just doing crazy things this season that they're not supposed to do. It's fun. It's exciting. I know it can be frustrating as well, but let's just see where this goes. I'm having fun watching Shai ascend to stardom. The All-Star votes happen today. They start today if you're listening on a Thursday, and I think Shai is right in the mix. I'm going to do a deep dive on this, but I think right now you could argue that Shai is having 4th best season for a guard in the West. 6 West guards made the team last year. I don't know if 6 will make it again this year. I think at worst, Shai has to be 6th, and I think that's where most people have him, because you don't weight it with just this season. You weight this season along with past success, past reputation, narratives, and then team success. And I think all those things in consideration, I think he's number 6 in the West right now amongst guards. You obviously have Luka, although the Thunder have a better record than Luka's team right now. You have Steph Curry, who are barely better than Shai's team right now. You have Dame, also barely better. Then you have Donovan Mitchell, whose team's a lot better this season record-wise, but Donovan Mitchell's numbers probably aren't as good as Shai's this season. Then you have Devin Booker, who's half a game ahead of Shai's team, and his talent on his team is supposed to be better, and really Shai's having a better season than Devin Booker is. So is Shai an all-star this year? You know, Russ moved east, Harden moved east, Chris Paul is having a down year compared to last year. And then Ja Morant hasn't played nearly enough this season. CJ McCollum got hurt. I think you can make a real argument that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander deserves an all-star bid this year. I don't think he'll make it. I don't think he will because of reputation and all those things. But is he worthy? Is he deserving? I think maybe he is. This Thunder team is not supposed to be 8-9, and he has been clearly the best player on this team. Second best player has probably been Lou Dort. Maybe you can make an argument for George Hill or Al Horford. I think it's pretty easily Lou Dort. But Shai is carrying this team. He is the clear number 1, and they are exceeding all expectations, and his numbers are unreal when you look at his efficiency, his scoring, his rebounds, his assists. and how high all those things are and how efficiently he is scoring, I mean, he's got a clear-cut case. It's exciting to see. But I will say it would be exciting to see a Cade Cunningham or Jalen Suggs or Evan Mobley next to him as well. So I see both sides of the coin. I see why winning games like this is frustrating for people who want to get a top pick. I see why it's exciting to see Shai beat his mentor or Shai to beat Dame a day after Dame releases shoes that celebrate beating the Thunder in a first-round series 2 years ago. So I get both sides. Let's just continue on this ride and see where it goes. Hey, the good news is maybe the Rockets and the Heat are going to tank for the Thunder, and maybe the Thunder just get those picks now. The Heat will probably end up being good and making the playoffs if they get healthy and guys come back from COVID. And then the Rockets, they're interesting. I think that they don't make the playoffs, but they've won 3 in a row, and they do have some talent now with Wall and Oladipo and Cousins and Wood if they can stay healthy. But for the rest of the season, it's going to be fun to follow Tankathon and see where the Thunder, the Heat, and the Rockets are. And as far as the Thunder's upcoming schedule, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Jeff Green coming back to Oklahoma City on Friday night. That's going to be a fun game. Of course, Kyrie Irving joins the traveling circus that is the New Jersey Nets. Also, right after that, the Thunder have a doubleheader against the Rockets and then against the Timberwolves. So a chance for this supposedly tanking team to pick up a bunch more wins after they play the Nets. And who knows what version of the Nets they're going to get. Considering that Nets defense, look for Shai's career high mark of 33 points that could be in jeopardy Friday night against the Nets. Hey, this is just a quickie. Thank you so much for listening to the Daily Thunder podcast. And again, keep Ryan in your thoughts and prayers as he has COVID right now. And let's hope for a quick recovery.